Giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God. In the name of His Holy Son, Hamashiach Yahweh. How everybody doing today?
Great.
Hey, it's a beautiful day out there too. It was so beautiful yesterday, I ran off the plantation. I ran off that mug. I said, forget this. So, what am I gonna say? Yeah, the Passover is coming up, everybody. It's Passover season.
All praise.
Which means it's sifting season. The Lord always do some sifting about this time. If people been in Israel, been in the truth for a few years, you'll notice that things always happen around this time in Israel. And the Lord get the sifting, removing leaven, you know what I'm saying? Removing people that's out the spirit. I've seen it every year since I've been in the truth. And at first you didn't know what was going on. Till you 2-3 years in a row, you see something happen. So I'm just letting everybody know it's sifting season, everybody. We're trying to remove that leaven. So yeah, man, I'm just happy to be here, to serve the Most High God. That's all I got. Serving the Most High God, y'all. So this is more informational class today. It was on my spirit because I've been seeing some things in Israel. You know, you speak out about it, but a lot of times they fall on deaf ears. Because what the scriptures say, a man's way is right in his own eyes. But we got to do it the way that the Most High God wants us to do it.
That's right.
And that's in spirit and His truth. The spirit and the truth is the law. And love is the keeping of God's laws, right? So whatever we do, we got to do it in love. See, our Christian counterparts don't understand what love really is. And love, you got to have discipline in having love. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn discipline because you got to have discipline to keep the law. To be diligent in doing the things that the Most High wants us to do. But you got to be taught well also. So the people that's doing the teaching is accountable for a lot of things that go on in Israel. Because whatever they teach, it trickle down on a whole bunch of people. And they take that thing and they go and run with it. And a lot of times it's just being parrots. A majority of the people that's teaching is just parrots. They just repeating what they heard. Especially when you a couple of years into this thing. And then when you start evolving and start, the Most High give you wisdom, because first of all, you got to ask for that wisdom. If you want it, you got to ask the Lord for it. So when you've been trained a certain way and you're not open to the wisdom that the Most High trying to give you, you'll close a lot of doors off, a lot of avenues off, and you'll miss those blessings because of who taught you. So I want to employ people, whoever listens to this class, think about who taught you and what they're doing now and what they're teaching now. And is that conducive to where your spirit is now? Because I promise you, there's people who taught you who not even teaching the same stuff that they taught you. And see, the way that we move up in here, I try to teach the men from what I learned. And keep your mind open to things that the Most High gonna bring to you. Because these people who taught certain people, they closed-minded, and then they teaching other people to be closed-minded. And that's why you got a lot of divisions within Israel. Because people think that their way is the right way, but we gonna go through the scriptures and we gonna clearly see that the Most High divided the knowledge. So how can you have all the knowledge? And how can your way be the only right way if the Most High divided these things, man? So think about who taught you in the first place. Are you still adhering to those things that they taught you? Because I know people who got taught 100% wrong. They're not with those people no more, but they have those habits that they were taught. And they're teaching people those habits. And that's teaching people division. So that's why I always lean on Yahweh. I want to do how Yahweh did, because he left that example, right? So however the example that he left, that gotta be the way, because he say he the truth, he the way and the light. So if I go doing something other than how Christ would do, if I go teaching without compassion, teaching without forgiveness, teaching without mercy, then I'm not doing what the Lord woke us up to do.
That's right.
So let's get First Timothy chapter 2 and verse 1. Let's start off there.
What's the title?
In the time that ye ought to be teachers. Because like I said, there's a lot of teachers out here. Like for instance, I gave this example, I'm gonna give it again. If you got a 20-year-old, right, and he know the precepts, because a lot of people think it's just about precepts. He know the precepts on marriage, but he's not married. How can he teach you about marriage? You gotta have experience with that thing. I'm not gonna go to somebody who's not married or who wanna get married for a couple of years because he know the precepts when I've been married for 24 years. You don't have the experience to teach this. And then on top of that, that means you're a novice. And then on top of that, you got pride on you, because you actually think that you can teach somebody who's been married for 24 years something and you not married. Is that not pride?
It's a lot of pride. That's right.
You think that you can teach somebody about raising children if you don't have any children? You don't have any experience. So how can you teach somebody that? But you got young brothers out here with pride on them, and then got the nerves to be holding somebody to the letter of the law on something you have no idea about. So this is what we're going to go into, because we teaching bad habits in Israel. So the scripture saying the time that you ought to be teachers, you have, matter of fact, let's get that first. That's in Hebrew. So like it, y'all. Matter of fact, go on and read that. You don't know why I get this.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 1. I exhort, therefore, that first of all supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men.
Read on.
For kings and for all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness.
All right. Go ahead.
And honesty.
Oh, right there. So first of all, we want to make supplication, prayer, and intercession, and giving thanks for all the leaders of Israel that's teaching this truth. Because if you're teaching the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God, then you're doing the right thing right there. And for the kings and for all that are in authority, that we may lead, this is the key part, that we may lead a quiet and peaceful life in all godliness and honesty. See, that's my goal, for us to have peace. Because I know a lot of us that's been living this life as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as Israelites, it ain't been a lot of peace. So when we have the house of the Lord, we want to have peace. We don't want to have drama. We don't want to have fighting, infighting, hatred among each other, backbiting. When we come together, we're supposed to have peace. Because God, the Lord, is a Lord of peace, right? So if we're doing anything other than that, we're clearly not keeping the commandments. If we come together and we don't have peace, we're clearly not doing what we're supposed to be doing. Read on up.
Verse 3. Verse 3. For this is good.
For this is what?
For this is good and acceptable in sight of God our Savior.
So this is what's good and acceptable. So I'm saying it again. If we come together as Israelites and we're not having peace, then we're not doing what's good and acceptable for the Most High God. So up in the swords of the Spirit, that's what we're going to have. We're going to have peace.
Wow.
We're going to have a peace of mind when we come together. We're going to be happy to see each other because we're going to make sure we don't have no drama. And the laws teach us how to do that. Give me Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 12. Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 12.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 5 and verse 12. For when, for the time, ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principle of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk, and not of strong meat.
Well, I have seen people choke. They ain't even good with the milk. The milk is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. That's the first thing we got to learn. How to deal with one another. How to love one another. How to love the Most High God first. And then secondly, how to love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you can't accomplish that, then you ain't even, how can you move on to any other levels? If you don't fear the Most High God, how can you move on to another level? How can you move to meat? You cannot. Read on.
Verse 13. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe.
And it's telling you, like, brother, how can you teach somebody about marriage if you ain't even married? Know what I'm saying? How can you teach somebody about children if you don't have any children? You still a babe. Literally, you still a babe. Just because you know the precepts, you have to live this thing also.
That's right. That's right.
How can you be a leader of the people if you're not fitting the criteria that's set for the leaders? And we're going to go do that. And you'll see. If you got any experience in Israel, you'll be like, so how is this person calling themselves this and they not fitting the criteria that's the Lord has set for that position?
Right.
But yet they out here teaching. And then you see what they teaching, you see they off. Because the Most High, a lot of men is putting themselves in position.
Mm-hmm.
So they feel like they're doing it. And then the people that's up under them feel like, well, this I owe this brother taught me. Now, if you feel like that, he done taught you wrong. Because we owe the Most High God.
God.
We owe Yahweh Shah.
That's right.
Because wouldn't none of us be in the position if it wasn't for the Most High.
That's right.
So how we finna thank a man? Don't thank me for nothing. Because if it wasn't for the Most High waking me up, I wouldn't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? We got millions of people around us don't know nothing about being Israelites. And we can easily be one of them trapped in the matrix. So who do we owe? We owe the Most High God.
That's right.
But we have our people who thinking they owe a man. Is that not Christianity? My pastor. Now it's my captain, my deacon, my bishop. No, it's my God.
That's right.
It's my God. You can never pivot off of that. If you ever pivot off the Most High God, you done messed up.
That's right.
And I'm just out here to teach the people things to look for. Because you got to know who you're following. This is a critique of myself too. If I go off the path that's written by Yahweh Shah, I'm going off. If I make it about me, I'm going off. That's why I stay diligent in what Yahweh Shah say. Because that's who I'm following. So what Paul say, follow me as I'm following Christ. And we all stay in line together. But if the head's sick, what's going to happen to the body? The whole body gonna be sick. And sadly to say, I see a few bodies that's sick. I see a few bodies that's sick. Read on out.
Verse 14. But strong meat belongeth to them that are full of age.
Read that again.
But strong meat belongeth to them that are full of age. Even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
So now, when you get full age, you can clearly see, okay, what brought me into this thing is not what's going to keep me in it. When I came into it, I was a child, and I seen brothers, rah, 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 the white man, this and da 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 da, and yelling at everybody, and woo, that fired me up. It's like the Black Panthers and Christianity in a met. What you mean I can serve the God and fight? Woo! I've been looking for this. But then when you get up in age, you start realizing, no, that's not the way Christ did it. Christ didn't go yell at the people. His voice was the sound of many waters because he spoke loud. And it's a reason for that. Like this brother came to us last week, and he said he came from the train, from across the train track, and he meant well. And he came over, he said, brother, man, can I just say, the people over there talking, and they saying that y'all yelling, and which we wasn't yelling, we just got a loud speaker. But they said, man, y'all yelling, it seemed like y'all coming down on them, and that's why nobody want to come over here. So I said, okay, brother, I hear you. This ain't the first time we done heard this. But let me show you what God said. And we went to Isaiah 58:1. And we read that to him. That brother was like, oh, okay. Cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, in the house of Jacob their sins.
Right.
He said, oh, okay. That's what God said, okay. And we showed him Isaiah 30:9, what the people want us to do. Speak with the smooth word. I say, we got our people down pat. The Lord done told us about our people. So we know they want us to speak with smooth words and talk soft to them and things like that. But that's not what God said to do.
That's right.
So we wasn't yelling, but we're talking loud with the speaker, and it doesn't matter what we talking about. If we talking about God. But if we talking about the Cowboys, it'd be a good conversation then.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about Cowboys, Dak Prescott, this and that, we have 100 people over there. But the Lord know our people. So we showed that brother them precepts, and that brother was like, oh, okay, gotcha. Because we doing what the Most High God said to do. You know what I'm saying? We already know how the people want us to be. We're not doing that. We're going to do what God said to do. So with maturity of growing up in this truth, see, back in the day, this brother wouldn't even got to say that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In the youth of being in this truth, he wouldn't have got to say that. But in the maturity of growing up in this truth, let the brother speak.
Yeah.
So then we can show the brother what God said.
That's right.
And then he heard it. Like I said, brother, we not yelling at you. You came up here humbly. We having a humble conversation. And he felt that. Because you grow up in this truth and you start realizing, we can't handle this like this.
Yeah.
No, we don't need to handle that like that. And then you pick up these experiences.
Yeah.
But when you young in the truth, whatever the leaders do, you're doing it too. So then because he's saying this and this and that, you young and you saying it too, but you think you on the level of him that's saying it, but he's 40, 50 years old. And you're not. Because you have novice out here trying to use strong meat, and they're going to choke themselves out. They're going to choke themselves out. Because it's criteria to this thing. That's why you use the milk, teach the commandments and teach the curses. And as you mature, you move into those other aspects of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Read on. We read that, verse 14. But strong meat belongs to them that are full age. And it's not talking about your age. It's talking about your maturity in this truth. Your maturity in the keeping of God's laws.
That's right.
Now give me 1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. No, Salaki. Give me 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 25. Before I can go there, I got to do this. Because if you desire an office, and you don't even have to be desiring the office of a bishop or a deacon. If you just feel in your heart you're supposed to be a leader of the people, you need to adhere to these things as well as if you desire to be a bishop or a deacon. But first of all, we got to look at what the king is, and we understand the example that he left for us before we can even do those things. Read that.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, and verse 25. For ye were a sheep going astray, but are now returned unto the shepherd and bishop of your soul.
So the shepherd and bishop of our souls is Hamashiach Yahweh. And I pulled this to show you that he is the bishop. He's the head bishop. He's the leader. So anything up under this, we have to follow his example, right? Because jump up to verse 21 out.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, and verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Yahweh also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps.
Read on.
Who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. Who, when he was reviled, and reviled not again, when he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously.
Because Hamashiach Yahweh had faith in the Most High God. So those people who did stuff to him, he didn't do it back to them. And that's a learning process. Because I'm going to tell you, brothers in here know a situation I had, and I restrained myself because I understand now that overall 100% is not even worth it in so many aspects. Because as a shepherd, as a leader of the sheep, if something happened to you, then it happened to the people too. So it's not just me going out here, I'm gonna avenge myself. If I avenge myself, then I don't have faith in the Most High God. If I avenge myself, I'm not gonna let the Lord have the vengeance. But what did we used to do when we was younger? We avenged ourselves then.
Right.
But when I was a child, I thought as a child.
Yeah.
But now I grew up. That's coming of age. You know what I'm saying? When somebody revile you and you don't even revile them back because you understand this is spiritual. That brother or that sister sick. You know this. We know something that they don't even know. We know they sick. You need a doctor. You need the medicine. And you don't have it. So why would you fight a sick person? You know what I'm saying? But you got to grow up and understand that they sick. But as a child, you don't know. You think they crazy. Oh, this person crazy. You gotta be crazy messing with me. Because I come over there and see about you. That's what you thinking. I come over there and see about you. But when you grow up, you get full of age, you start calculating. Go to jail for this. Fight my own people. Put my family in a situation. Put my brothers in a situation. Cost myself money. You just start calculating all the problems that have come with this one situation. But what did you do when you was younger? You didn't think. You ain't think about none of that. I don't give a F. That's our word. I don't give a F. You don't give a F about none of the consequences, the amount of money it's going to cost you, nothing. But when you grow up, you like, it ain't even worth it. It ain't even worth it. Give me 1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. So it's about growing up, man. And there's a lot of people still got a lot of growing up to do. You can be of age if you want to be, but it still don't matter. A lot of people is still simple. I hate to say it. You got people who leaving congregations being simple. I can't do nothing with y'all because we do a different moon. What? It's the same moon that's up there. It's not a different moon. It's the same moon. It's a couple weeks separating from what you do and what I do. Is that the worst thing in the world to be separated about? That sounds like a new version of Willie Lynch to me.
Yeah.
Nah, them brothers do a different Sabbath. I can't rock with them. If you I'm gonna say this again. If you reprobate or a antichrist, then I can't do nothing with you, because ain't nothing to be done with you. If you do a different moon, a different Sabbath, but you serving the same God, and you believe in keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, that's what we supposed to be doing. Serving the Most High God and being obedient to His law, statutes, and commandments. Everything else is trivial.
That's right.
Because if you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, then you're not going against your people. You're not going against your God. If you do a different moon, it's just a difference in your calculations of the day that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Is that against the law? Because I could have swore in the scriptures it said that if you were unclean and couldn't do the Passover at the time that you were supposed to do it, then a month later you can do it.
That's right.
Maybe I'm wrong. So the Lord gave a makeup date for the Passover? But you do it this time and I do it this time, we can't do it together, but somebody who was unclean get to do it a month later? But you keeping the commandments, I'm keeping the commandments. Somebody not keeping the commandments then. Because if we can't come together, somebody don't want to keep the commandments.
Yeah.
Because I could have sworn the Lord said, gather yourself together.
O nation not desired.
Oh, what?
O nation not desired.
Oh, who?
O nation not desired.
So we a nation not desired, and then within that nation is people who don't desire to be with you still.
Say it. Bring it out.
This just be what be going through my brain. This just what I be trying to understand. Because that sounds like separation to me.
Mm-hmm.
And separation of people who's doing the exact same thing that you're doing. Teaching on the exact same day that you're teaching on. But so what if we believed in the same moon? And I'm just going off a little bit, just rambling. So what if we believed in the same, doing it at the same moon, right? But your calculations got you on the 14th and mine got it on the 16th. We can't do nothing together. But we do the same moon, brother. No, brother, you start yours on the 16th. We do ours on the 4th. This is what I'm talking about we need to grow up. This is what I'm really talking about.
That's right.
About people who teaching the people. If I'm in here teaching y'all that we can't do something with other Israelites because they do a different moon than us, I am going off. Maybe it's just me that feel like that.
Yes, sir.
I'm just throwing it out there. I hope somebody catch it. But read that out.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1. This is a true saying.
This is a what?
A true saying.
No, it's a lie.
A true saying.
Okay, this is a true saying, y'all. This is a true saying. This is what the Lord said. So all these people that's in these positions, including myself, we got to fulfill this.
Bring it out.
Read out.
If a man desire the office of a bishop.
If he what?
Desire the office of a bishop.
Because like the elder said, the Most High gave apostles, teachers, disciples, elders. What else he give out? Pastors.
Pastors, teachers, evangelists, apostles, and there's one more in there. So.
And the Lord gave that, right? The Lord gave that. That's why we say everybody ain't meant to teach. A lot of the stuff people desiring. And in this case right here, if you desire to be a bishop, read on.
He desireth a good work.
He do what?
Desireth a good work.
Mm-hmm.
A bishop then must be blameless.
Hold up right there. Read that from the top again.
This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work.
Hold right there. So you desiring this, right? Lord, I feel in my heart I'm supposed to be a bishop. I ain't never said that in my life. Everybody in here know I'll pull an Enoch if I could. But if you desire that, right, then it's two ways that can go. I'm finna give you what Christ said, because it's two reasons why you're desiring. It's gonna be one good and one bad. So if you desire in this position, which is a position of leadership, right? Let me go to Christ right quick, because that's who I lean on. Matthew chapter 20 and verse 25. I always pull this scripture. And because if I lead, I want to lead in the way that I would want somebody to lead me. You know what I'm saying? With compassion, with love, care, an ear that hears. So this is what Christ said. Read that.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 20 and verse 25. But Yahweh called them unto him and said, Ye know that the prince of the Gentile exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you, but whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant.
Let him be your what?
Let him be your servant.
That's heavy. Because when they say heavy is the head that wear the crown, it's no lie. Because when you're doing it right, you're going to be a servant. Men, if you the king of your household, right? Aren't you a servant? You the king, but honey, I need you to go do this. You the king, but honey, I need you to take that trash out. You the king, but honey, I need this. You the king, but honey, I need this. Know what I'm saying? You the king, but you ain't sitting up there kicking your feet up. Christ the king. Did he come down here and exercise authority over the people? Or was he a servant?
He was a servant.
I rest my case. That's how we supposed to be. So let's go back to Timothy. Say, handle that for me, y'all.
Good teaching, dude.
So let's handle, where is it? I put some, oh, go right there in the corner. So, go back to Timothy's. Start at verse 2.
2 Timothy 3 and 2.
First Timothy's.
1 Timothy. A bishop then must be blameless.
You must be what?
Blameless.
Hold up. I ain't even say nothing. We all know. We all see the leaders out here. Know what I'm saying? So a bishop must be blameless. Meaning you can't have accusations against you.
That's right.
How can you lead the people if you got accusations against you? Know what I'm saying? How can you lead the people if people, oh, that man right there, he dirty. Because if you represent the Most High God, if you follow the example of Christ, you're going to be blameless, right? Meaning you're not doing any offenses to anybody. And as that in that office, you're not exercising authority over nobody like, because I'm in this position of leadership, y'all work for me. Oh, I'm the leader, y'all work for me. No, it's the other way around, as Christ said.
That's right. That's right. Teach us, deep.
That's all I see. If I'm in this position, if my phone ring, I gotta answer it. It's some people who in positions who not gonna answer their phone. It's some people in these positions who not gonna give you the time of day. And you can be in their congregations, and we all know. Oh man, I called that brother ain't even answer the phone. Because they not blameless. They worry about other things.
That's right.
If you gonna be over the congregation, you gotta worry about your house and the Lord's house. It's just what it is. It's not a position just to be glorified in. It's not. Why you think Enoch was going away? Enoch like, man, I'm gonna go away for a minute. I'll see y'all in a minute. He'll come back, then he'll leave again. Why you think Christ ain't stay down here for too long? These wicked Negroes right here, whoo! He only stayed a short time. Because it's heavy. That's dealing with our people. Read on up.
A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife.
The what?
Husband of one wife.
The husband of one wife. Because if you got a wife, and then how many wives say, you don't spend enough time with me. You don't spend enough time, we ain't did nothing together. And it's valid. It's valid. Because me and my wife was just talking about that. I know other brothers and their wives talk about it. Because you get busy in the hustle and bustle, working, in your routine, children, and then you don't end up spending, you see each other, but you don't spend as much time as you would like just y'all. So you have to factor that in. Because you got a wife. And then after that, if you a leader of the congregation, you got another wife. You already got multiple wives. The church is another wife. So you got multiple wives already. Just like the church is going to be the wife of Yahweh Shah. When you in a position of leadership, that's your other wife. I'm not knocking nobody for what they do, but me coming into this position make me understand that even more. A lot of brothers say it's one church. You can only, how many churches can you deal with? It's enough work dealing with one. You know what I'm saying? So the husband of one wife, because you got to give time to the church and you got to give time to your wife. Read on.
Vigilant.
Vigilant. You got to be about this work every single day. Every day. Whether it's classes, street teaching, coming to the school, cleaning up, fixing something, talking to the people in the congregation, whatever it is, you got to be vigilant about it. Even if you feel like today, man, I don't feel like doing nothing. If somebody call you, you going to have to deal with them. It be people calling you from other places, other congregations, other cities, other states.
Right.
And if you're not vigilant, meaning your spirit is burning to do this for the Lord, you going to put them on what's the button? In. You're going to send them the voicemail. A lot of us ain't got our voicemail set up so they can leave a message. So you just denied one of the sheep. You got to be vigilant about this thing. That's why I said, yeah, I got a life, but this is the most important thing that I can be doing. Period. We got our purpose. So if it's your purpose, you're going to be vigilant about that thing. And plus, remember it said if you desired this office, then why wouldn't you be vigilant? Read on.
Sober.
Sober. But you going to be drunk, high? You going to be drunk or high? Drunk off other philosophies, drunk off alcohol, and you trying to be a bishop? You got to be a representative of the Most High God. It ain't talking about being overly righteous. It ain't talking about looking the part. No. When you blameless, that means when you dealing with people the way they feel about you, it's everything. They feel like they can talk to you, they can come to you. They feel like you hearing them. You're not controlling them. You're not downing them. Like if you sit in a congregation and all the leader doing is down in the congregation, what's the morale of the congregation gonna be?
No.
Y'all this and y'all that and y'all this and y'all women and y'all wicked and men y'all did. But I'm sitting up here, I'm high and mighty. Ain't nothing wrong with my stuff. My stuff don't stink. It's y'all stuff that stink because I know all the precepts. I know all the precepts. Y'all don't know nothing. I'm better than you, Nate. You older than me, but I'm better than you because I know more precepts than you. How is that to make people feel? It ain't about that. You take these precepts You enter them into your life and you use them. That's what they're there for. When Christ is telling you to have compassion and forgiveness, you don't just say it, you actually do it.
Right.
If you're going to want forgiveness from the Father, aren't you supposed to be giving forgiveness?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? This stuff is crazy. What I've seen since I've been in this truth. But I can tell you right now, this is the most comfortable I've been since I've been in the truth. This is the most relaxed, the most peaceful it's been for me since I've been in the truth. And I've been in quite a few places. Read on, Doc.
Of good behavior.
Of what?
Good behavior. Given.
Hold up. Oh, Lord, we got a scandal with a bishop. How you gonna have a scandal? 1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 2. Good behavior. We shouldn't have a scandal with the bishop. You know what I'm saying? We should not have a scandal with the bishop. But we have seen it in Israel. I ain't gonna say no names. But we have seen it. We know how the Christian church be. It ain't nothing but scandals. Ricky Rush. Read on up.
Given to hospitality, apt to teaching.
Given to hospitality. People, now this is the main thing. And I know it's people in here that went somewhere and they done told me, ooh, I didn't feel comfortable. If you walk up in here, and if somebody new walk up in here, like my brother man, and he don't feel comfortable, who that's on? It's on me. Heck, I was part of a congregation and walked into there and didn't feel comfortable. I was part of the congregation, one of the founding members, and one day I walked into the congregation and didn't feel comfortable because the leadership didn't make me feel comfortable. And I've been there. Walked in, everybody like this. Oh, come in, open your Bibles and just start reading. You're like, what? So you telling a grown man he can't talk to another grown man before we start class? Oh no, it's about what time? It's about time for me to go. When we get to doing like that, we out of line. We gonna talk. That's why I had no problem before we start class talking. And then after class talking. Because we gotta get to know each other. We gotta see what's going on with each other. We family. Up in here, it ain't no, oh, these my soldiers. And, no, we family. To me, we family. La familia. How you say it? La familia. That's how I feel. That's how, and then I know we done been in places where we thought that's how it was supposed to be. And here it's for real. Because if I love you, I love you. There's people I've been knowing for a long time who know that. I love you. It ain't just talk. Because we in this thing together. We building this together through the Most High God. We been together through the Most High God. And all praise to the Most High God, we get to stay together. Know what I'm saying? Read on out.
Not given to wine, nor striker.
Hold up. I didn't touch the app to teach. You got to be ready to teach. We know that. Not given to wine. Meaning not being a drunkard. It ain't say you couldn't drink wine, but in excess? What the bishop look like being up here drunk? Oh yeah, everybody, come on, I love you, Yona. Come on, give me a hug, Yona. Get somebody like my boy, yeah. Drunk than a mug. The bishop, the leader. Come on, man, we can't do that. Striker.
Maybe.
He got to be the first one to say, hold up, Mustard seed, don't do it, mustard seed. I know you want to do it, mustard seed, don't do it, mustard seed. I want to do it too, but we can't do it. We cannot do it. We can't strike the brother. Even though we want to slap him across the face, we can't strike him. You got to be the voice of reason. Because it ain't like you ain't just like everybody else. It's that you got to grow up. You got to be wise, like I said. The younger brothers be like, man, forget this. And somebody got to be the one. So if, y'all know me. If I did not change my ways, I'll be the first one ready to strike somebody. But I have to change my ways. So that everybody else change their ways. Because if I'm ready to strike somebody, everybody else is definitely gonna be ready to strike somebody. Are we striking? We striking deep? Nah, we ain't striking, brother. That's not yet. Now we have had to defend ourselves. And I'll be the first one to defend ourselves. The first one. And then everybody be like, oh, that's what we doing. And then we gonna do it. But, you know, that ain't my intentions. We have refrained ourselves from a lot of stuff. But I can't be a striker, y'all. So I'm growing up. Read on.
Not greedy or of filthy.
Read that again.
Not greedy of filthy lucre.
Hey, that's not gonna get you nowhere. Because if you be like that, you already got your reward. If you're about the money, then you already got your reward in this truth. And you're not gonna get the kingdom. Because you've taken advantage of people. That's what being greedy of the filthy lucre gonna do. You're gonna take advantage of the people, of the sheep. And there's people out there doing that. There's brothers out there righteous with the money, and then there's people out there greedy with the money. But they're gonna get their reward. They're definitely gonna get their reward. Read on.
But patient, not a brawler, not covetous.
You gotta be patient. Can't be a brawler or be covetous of another man's stuff. Read on out.
One that ruleth well in his own house.
Read that again.
One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity.
Sister, we're gonna put in for that prescription here. So this is a key point. One that ruleth well his own house. One that ruleth well his own house. Let that sink in. How can you handle the Lord's house if you can't handle your own house? And I'm not saying that people won't have problems, because a man's foes will be they of his own household. Right. But how do you handle those problems? And then in turn, how do you deal with the people? Because if the people see, if my wife coming in here acting a fool, how am I gonna say something about somebody else's wife? They're like, man, you ain't got your wife in order. You ain't got your children in order. Your children running amok, doing what they want to do, and you ain't even doing nothing about it. So how you gonna tell me about my child? You can't. And if people think people can't see that, they out their mind. If people think that they sitting up at the table and they see your wife is out of order, you think people that's blind to people? Your children is out of order. That's blind to people? No, it's not. People see it. They may not say nothing, but they say it amongst themselves. Now this brother out of his mind, he's trying to tell us. He trying to tell us. He trying to be overly righteous, telling us, and his wife out of order. That's what they say. Because you not ruling your own house well. You might well leave her at the house. You'll be better off. Nah, my wife, she didn't want to stay at home. I got to bring up. No, you don't. You ain't got to bring them bad kids up in there. They don't want to listen, leave them at the house. That's what you do. But when you bring them in there and you know they out of order, you only piercing yourself with many sorrows.
That's it.
But you thinking people can't see. I'm blind. I'm telling you, it's people that have people fooled. It's people that have people thinking they had the perfect household. But in the midst of it was devils. And you think, I'm telling you, people can see way across the country. Way from across the country. Oh, no, that brother is fugazi. You know what I'm saying? He fugazi. You got to rule your own household well. Meaning, law, statutes, commandments, man. Don't bring that up in the house of the Lord. If you got a situation going on that you can't deal with like that, you letting the Lord deal with it, then leave that at the house. Don't bring it up in the house of the Lord, though. Because it ain't going to bring number problems. So that's how that thing go. And don't be a hypocrite. Don't sit here acting like you can't understand another brother's situation. Your wife don't want to hear it, but you tell, brother, you need to get her in order, brother. Mustard seed, you need to get your wife in order. Then soon you say, so brother, what about your wife? You say, that ain't your business, that's my business. You need counsel though. Oh, but you don't need no counsel. You know what I'm saying? It's hypocritical, man. That's what happened when you remove yourself from the people. If I'm just like you, then I understand you, and you understand me. But if I'm sitting up here like I'm holier than thou, with the long phylacteries on and sitting in Moses' seat, and my wife, my house out of order, and I'm over here ruling with authority over the people, I'm thinking I'm doing something right in my own mind. That's why we lean on Yahweh.
That's right.
So read on out.
Verse 5.
Verse 5. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
Read that again. I don't think they heard you.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
So if I'm 25, 30 years old, just coming into the truth a couple years, and I ain't even been through a man's fold shall be they of his own household, because I'm still living at home with mama and daddy. But I'm trying to rule over the church. I'm an officer. They done made me an officer. And I'm trying to rule over everybody. But I don't even have a house. I don't have a wife. I don't have children. So how can I rule over the house of the Lord? You don't have no experience. That's what it's going into. If you know how to rule your own house, then you got experience. That's why I tell people, don't come up in the house of the Lord acting like you don't know how to do nothing, because you've been doing it at home this whole time. If you've been cleaning up at home, you know how to clean up at the house of the Lord. As you've been cooking for your family at home, then you know how to cook for the children of the house of Israel. If you know how to fix something at home, then you know how to fix something in the house of the Lord. Don't come up in here and see something broke, knowing you can fix it, and don't try to fix it. That's what it's talking about. So if you know how to rule your own house, pay bills, cut the grass, clean up, take your children to school, spend time with your wife. You was doing Christmas. You was doing Easter. You was getting clean for that. You was barbecuing for the 4th of July. Don't act like you don't know how to barbecue now, brother. Now, I don't know how holy days, you don't know nothing, you just standing around. Don't act like you don't know how to light that grill now. Oh, you don't know how to season no meat. You don't know how to cook. You don't know how to do nothing. I done seen too many brothers stand around. Now they don't know how to do nothing. So this is how you act at home? You know what I'm saying? This is how you act at home. Don't sit around waiting to get into the office of a bishop or a deacon before you start doing stuff. You got to already, that's why he's telling you. If you ruling your own house, you already doing it. If you keeping the commandments at home, you're going to be keeping them in the house of the Lord. So it ain't no, oh, once I get in the position, then I'll start doing it. No, you've already been practicing this thing. So at 20-year-old, 25-year-old, 30-year-old, staying in an apartment, they don't even know how to cook. Can't tell me nothing about serving the Lord. Ain't got no experience. Another thing brothers ain't got experience in that I wanted to bring out. They want to do things in a military style, but they ain't never been in the military. That's why I'm talking about these titles and stuff. It ain't just about precepts. In the military, you have officers that's over supplies.
Right.
You have officers that's over the kitchen. You have officers over security. You know what I'm saying? So you don't just become an officer just because you know precepts. What practical things do you know how to do? What experiences do you have? You know what I'm saying? You become leaders in the things that you can do. And it's more than just precepts. The precepts is how we should live with one another. The precepts don't tell you how to fix the bathroom. But if a brother know how to do that, he a valuable asset. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a perfect example. Officer Hissamot make garments, right? So if he over garments, he over clothing, he really over more than that, but that's just one example, right? We need to be clothed. We need to look good. That's a whole office in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not an officer over that? Because the scripture says if you desire the office of a bishop, that's an office. So there's many administrations. So you're going to have leaders over that. But somewhere in the thing you got mixed up where you just need to know precepts. And if you don't know precepts, then you're nothing. But I'm here to tell you that that's not true. Sisters that's over feast days, making things look good. Sisters that's over different administrations. Things people don't even know get done. Making flyers. Feeding us. Know what I'm saying? Talking to other sisters. Showing love to other sisters. That's an administration.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody walk in here and they don't feel welcome or hospitality, then something is missing. So somebody that's got that spirit will take the lead on that thing. And when somebody come here, they be the first one to them. Exchanging numbers. You know what I'm saying? That's an administration. That's why it's mentioned. Hospitality. It's a whole industry of hospitality.
Right.
A whole industry called hospitality. People go to school to learn hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but that's nothing because the sister don't know precepts. It's bigger than that, man. It's experience. Experience is what we need. That's why when you got elders, they gonna know the precepts and they gonna have experience.
Right.
And I'm telling you, the foundation of this class is finna be the next verse. And the elder, the one put it on my brain. So he gave me the precept and he got experience. This scripture we finna bring out, if a 25-year-old brought it to me, I'd laugh at him. Read it out.
Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil.
Because if you're a novice, that means you're still learning, right? That means there's many avenues for you to fall into to go astray. That's why I was talking about the people that's teaching the people. Because if you're a novice, like how many people came into the truth thinking that everybody was doing the same thing, teaching the same thing, teaching the same way, and then it was supposed to be heaven. It ain't just you, brother. We thought when we come into the truth, it's finna be heaven on earth. What you find out is you really in hell. You ain't know you was in hell before till you found out you was an Israelite.
Yeah.
Then you found out hell has enlarged herself and its captivity.
Speak on that.
And now you realize, okay, this ain't what I thought it was. Let me reorganize myself and get my stuff together. Because I thought everybody taught the same thing. So then you a novice, and you seeing all these different avenues now. Which one you gonna choose? Because when you fall into the wrong one, you're gonna fall into pride.
That's right.
Then you're gonna fall into the condemnation of the devil.
Yep.
Then you're gonna be over here, rah, 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 rah. Brother, you going to hell because you eat flesh. Brother, I'm already in hell. I'm already in it. Because you just said that to me. My brother condemning me to hell because I'm eating meat. And I see it in the Bible that it's, don't let a man judge you on these things. Or it's telling me to do this. No, I know I'm in hell because Israelites is crazy.
Right.
So as a novice, you don't understand this stuff. So whoever teach you what you get taught first, that's most likely what you're going to run with. And that's most likely what you're going to teach and how you're going to be. See, all praise to the Most High God. I had somebody with me that put that light bulb on my head. I started seeing. And then later on, I understood what was going on. And I understood the situation. And I had to get that spirit off of me. But if you don't know that that spirit is on you, or you don't think that spirit is wrong, you ain't gonna see nothing wrong with it. Then you're gonna fall into pride. And that's what it's talking about. That's why I said, beware of who taught you. Think about who taught you. Think about what they taught. And then think about what they teaching now and see if it is conducive with Yahweh. Because I found out that a lot of stuff that I was taught was false. And then I see the person that taught it, and I see they don't went off. That's why I follow Christ. Follow Christ. If you need to just read, go to Matthew, Luke, Mark, and John, follow Christ. Because that's the way. But when you're a novice, you're looking at your leader. I heard people say, man, I owe that brother. He taught me his truth. You don't owe him a damn thing. He didn't buy you for a ransom. The Most High bought you for a ransom. He didn't wake you up and call you. The Most High woke you up and called you.
That's right.
But being a novice, this is what you think. Then you'll fall into that pride. Then you start condemning people on stuff you don't even know what you're talking about. And that's what, it's a perfect situation. The perfect scenario of what I was talking about. The brother got taught wrong. He leaves and he teaches some garbage, which can easily be debunked. And now you out here looking foolish. Because you're not leaning on Christ, you're leaning on your own understanding. Unless you're a novice, and not a novice being lifted up with pride. You can't be a novice being a leader of the congregation. Because you definitely get lifted up with pride. Because then you like, oh yeah, I'm 25 years old, I'm an officer of 50, puffing your chest out. No, you're an officer of a lot of problems. That's all you're an officer of. Because that's all we got in this captivity. It's a lot of problems. Read on up.
Verse 7. Moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil. Likewise, must the deacons be grave, not double-tongued.
Not what?
Double-tongued. Not given to much wine, not greedy of the filthy lucre. Holding the mysteries of faith.
Holding the what?
Mysteries of faith.
The what?
Of faith.
Y'all want to know what the mysteries of faith is? It's not that big of a mystery. Go to, give me 1 Timothy chapter 1. Let's start at 3. Chapter 1, verse 3. Read it when you got it.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 1 and verse 3. As I besought thee to abide till at Ephesus, when I went into Macedonia, that thou mightest charge some that teach no other doctrine.
No other what?
Doctrine.
No other what?
Doctrine.
Another doctrine is teaching another faith. Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Nation of Islam, that's another doctrine. They say another doctrine. Well, if you talking about you just Old Testament only, that's another doctrine. Negro only, another doctrine. If you teaching something contrary to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God, that's another doctrine. Read on.
Verse 4. Neither give heed to fables.
To what?
Fables.
Uh-huh.
And endless genealogies, which minister questions rather than godly edifying, which is in faith.
If it's making more questions than edifying people, like if somebody asks you a question and you go straight to the scriptures and answer it, you edify them. But if you give them an answer and they just have more questions because you're not coming out of the Bible, you coming with some other stuff, you coming with your own thought process like a lot of our people do. A lot of our people do. Then you're not doing what the Lord meant you to do. Like what did the brother ask? Brother, did Adam have a navel? We like, bro, what do that got to do with getting into the kingdom? I just want to know, bro, did Adam have a navel? Bro, if I gave you an answer, it's not going to do nothing for you. That's the type of stuff our people ask. Did Adam and Eve have a mama and daddy? Brother, what is that going to do for you to get into the kingdom? Because our job is to teach how to repentance and how to get into the kingdom. All these other things is going to end up with endless genealogies and fables and only going to come to more questions. But that's what they want when they asking that. Like the young brother we dealt with last week. We asked him a question, he turned around and asked us a question. We asked him another question, he just asked us another question. Like, brother, why you won't answer the question? And we trying to answer his question with the Bible, but he don't want the answer. That's just leading to nothingness. But we tried to help the brother. We did. Read on up.
Verse 5. Now the end of the commandment is charity.
Is what?
Charity.
And that word charity is love. This is Greek. They use the Greek word for love, and it's charity. Read.
Out of a pure heart.
Out of a what?
Pure heart.
Meaning you really, like we really was trying to help this young brother, man. Out of a pure heart. We really was trying to give him that love out of a pure heart. Why? Because that's what Christ did. Because our faith is built on Christ, right? He left the example, so we're going to do what Christ did from our faith. Read.
And of good conscience, and of faith unfeigned.
Faith unfeigned, unwavering, faith of a mustard seed. That's the mystery of faith. If you putting love with it, that means you got faith. If you doing what Yahweh said to do, that means you got faith. And you doing it out of love and out of a pure heart and out of a good conscience. That's the mystery of the faith. If you doing those things, keeping the commandments, having love, charity, having a good conscience while you're doing it, and having a pure heart while you're doing it, that's showing your faith. You got people who saying these things, they're saying it sounds good, but are they really doing it? The mystery of faith is actually doing these things. Yeah, I got faith. All right, where your actions at with it? If you got faith, then show your works. If you got faith, then do what Yahweh said do. Don't just talk about it, be about it. The mystery of faith is actions, not just talk. Read on.
From which some have swerved, have turned aside unto vain jangling.
And that's what I'm talking about. It's just talking. Vain jangling is like when you tap something to make that ding, ding, ding. Just vain. It's not musical notes. It's just a ding. That's what you sound like when you're saying it and not living by it. You talking a good game like the Christians do. Oh, my faith in the Lord. But you ain't got enough faith to keep his commandments though. Yeah, it sound good, but are you actually doing it? It's vain jangling. Jangling, jangling. That's all they do, jangling, jangling. Read.
Desiring to be teachers of the...
Read that, what?
Desiring to be teachers of the law.
Desiring. See, this is different. Remember we talked about the Lord gave teachers, apostles. The Lord give them. It's in your spirit. But some people are desiring to be teachers of the law, but don't have the aspects that's required to actually be a teacher. Because to be a teacher of the law, you got to be like Christ, right? So that means I just can't be holding people that I know is in captivity, that I know that's lost, that I know that's sick, that I know that's asleep, to the letter of the law, because we know we are rehearsing the righteous acts. And if I'm going to be like Christ, then I'm going to be like when they brought the woman to him that committed adultery. And they said, what we should do with her? Because the law of Moses say we should stone her. But they only brought her. And the law of Moses say it's supposed to be the man too. And Christ can see through their wicked spirit. They wanted him to go off, and they wanted him to do something that wasn't lawful. Because they was off. Remember we talked about how the Christians and the Muslims say how you wrong for keeping the Sabbath. But they don't keep the Sabbath. They want Christ to be off too. They want him to judge his woman unrighteously, even though they ain't got both parties there in the first place. And what Christ say, he who without sin cast the first stone, that still applies today. I'm going to be sitting up here casting stones at people as if I ain't did nothing wrong. Oh, mustard seed. You take that. Sister Ashley, take that. I'm just throwing stones and I ain't did, I'm perfect. No, I ain't what Christ said. He who without sin cast the first stone. Yeah, all right. You want to hold somebody to the letter of the law? Then you get held to the letter of the law. Otherwise, sin no more. And keep the commandments like he told the sister. Because why? Everybody that brought her to them was wicked. From the oldest to the youngest. So unless we all finna go up under the letter of the law, we might need to have some compassion. Because, so we ain't gonna get held to the letter of the law, but we gonna hold y'all to the letter of the law. How wicked is that? Ain't we in this boat together? Ain't we in captivity together? Ain't we serving the punishment together? So to get out of the punishment, we got to get out of it together. So whatever judgment that I want to put on you, I got to have that same judgment, right? So I want to go with what Yahweh said about sin no more, repent and sin no more. Because he gave a grace, he gave a forgiveness, he gave a long suffering. So if that's what I want, ain't that what I'm supposed to give?
Right.
So those are aspects that you have to teach if you want others to go teach that same thing. But if you're not teaching that, and you teaching to keep to the letter of the law, what the men up under you gonna do? Then they're gonna be out here making videos against other brothers. They're gonna be out here video beefing on YouTube. Oh, that brother had a part in his head. Yep. Remember that, yo? Brother hit the comment and say, oh man, that brother got a part in his head. We like, goodness gracious, these people are petty. You're not supposed to have any cuttings in your flesh. Well, technically, that's not a cutting in the flesh. It's a part in your hair. But this is how simple our people get. I'm like, really, y'all want to go there? Do Israel really want to go there? I don't think they do. I know for a fact that you don't want to go there. Because these criteria that we pulling out for leaders, pretty much everybody be dead. For one reason or another. Because if you going by what the people say, you can't control what people think about you. That's the first thing.
He has ZZs, he ain't got on Frenches.
Ah, brother, I got them on my heart. I wear my fringes on my heart, brother. Sister say I wear my dress in my heart. Now they say they wear their fringes on their heart. I just made up the one about the dress on their heart. But you might have, hey, I wouldn't be surprised. Because remember I said I never heard of an anti-Moses. And then we went out one week and we found an anti-Moses. I couldn't believe it. Brother was against Moses. The brother was banging on Moses. And we like, brother, you sound like Korah. What's going on here? This how crazy our people are though. Read on, now.
I'm going to start 7 from the top again. Desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say.
Understand what?
Understanding neither what they say, nor whereof they affirm.
Like I repeat, how can you be a novice at something and then trying to tell somebody else who has more experience than you? You don't even understand what you're saying. You trying to tell me how to deal with a black woman that I've been with for 20-something years, and you with a girl. You with a little girl, and you trying to tell me how to deal with a woman. Brother, you don't have enough experience, brother.
Right.
You don't have enough experience. You trying to tell me, you got people who hate women in Israel trying to deal with women. Brother, first you got to learn how to love the sisters before you can deal with them. You don't have no experience. It's been times I tell brothers, don't even talk to the sisters. Cause you obviously don't like them in the way that you should like them, so you don't need to deal with them. But when you got experience, when a mother, grandmothers, aunties who love you. Matter of fact, that's another thing. Cause I think about this. If you don't have no experience in being loved or loving somebody for real, and you'll be amazed how many people don't. Then how can you tell somebody about loving? And you don't know how to love or be loved. That's major. That's why nobody can't. She know by my actions. Yeah, that may be true, but sometimes people want to hear it. You don't got to be like Denzel on Fences. Who said I gotta love you? You got a roof over your head, don't you?
Don't worry if I love you. Worry if I'm doing right by you.
You don't got a roof over your head? Well, damn, if you love me that much, can you say it too? I'm just saying, man. You ain't gotta like you. But love, people want to feel it. People want to feel it. You know what I'm saying? When you walk in here, you want to feel love. That's what I'm saying. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all like Christ loved the church.
And that's a lot of love.
That's a lot of love. And that's how we supposed to be. I can't sit up here talking bad about you. Oh, these sisters, man, y'all get on my nerve. These brothers sorry. Ooh. And how you gonna know I love you then?
Yeah.
You know? But you gotta have experience in this thing, man. So it say, desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say, nor whereof they affirm. They don't know. You gotta get some experience in this thing. Like, it's things Nate know from experience that I do not know. He done been over congregations before. He done dealt with a lot of people before. I'm growing into these things, and it's things that he tell me that I learn from. I can't think that just because I'm here, I know all things. No, I don't. I learn every time I do a class. Every time I open up the Bible, I'm learning. Every time I listen to an elder, I'm learning. I got elders I listen to. It's people that's been in this truth for years that I line up with, that I listen to. And it's a vast majority of people I don't listen to. But I listen. Know what I'm saying? Because you got to keep learning. Can't think you the end all, be all. Matter of fact, I need to move a little quicker. Read on out.
But we know that the law is good if a man use it lawfully.
If he do what?
Use it lawfully.
It's good if you use it lawfully. But the scripture is a two-edged sword, right? And you got people using it lawfully, and then you got people using it for their own purpose. Like multiple wives. It's lawful. But are they using it lawfully? No. A lot of people not. They don't have no understanding. They don't have no experience. That's another subject matter. No experience. You have brothers trying to go into that realm with no experience.
God.
And if you ask me, you talk to me, I'll tell you everything you need to know. And I promise you, you ain't gonna be qualified. I promise you. Because it's criteria to everything. And if you don't have no experience, it's gonna crumble. Because it ain't gonna be done lawfully. It's gonna collapse. You know what I'm saying? I know brothers who had multiple wives, they ain't got them no more. Because it wasn't done lawfully. You gotta have experience, you gotta have an understanding. That's a lot of these brothers don't have that, man. Whether they speaking against or for certain things, they don't have the experience. They just listen to what somebody told them. I don't watch them lie. In some of the biggest camps, I don't sit up here and watch them blatantly lie on the scriptures. But it's simply like this, brother. If that's not what you want to do, you don't have to lie to everybody. Just don't do it. If you don't want to eat meat, brother, just don't eat meat. But don't come over here lying to everybody.
That's right. Right.
Simple as that. That's where experience come into play, because you know this if you got experience. I don't have to go make a Facebook post to everybody about you going to hell if you do this and this and that. Brother, if that's how you feel, then you don't do it. That's where you start at. And people thinking they making public service announcements to everybody, and everybody's like, what? What are you talking about? Then somebody come on there and say something, then they gonna get mad. Because you on here playing around. Because real experienced teachers don't come on here making posts to try to aggravate somebody or scrounge up some kind of attention.
That's right.
You gonna walk it like you talking. The real teachers really ain't got to say much, because you gonna look at them and see how they moving, and you gonna know if it's good or not.
Right.
Unless they got a good social media person that know how to make them look a certain way. Because there's a lot of that going on too. Got a great social media person that make you look like you the best person in the world. But real teachers ain't on here showboating on social media. They just walking the walk and talking the talk and teaching. Give me 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 3.
You want me to finish on verse 9? That's powerful.
No, I want that. 6 and 3.
6 and 3.
Yes, sir.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 6 and verse 3. If any man teach otherwise, and consent not to the wholesome words, even the word of our Lord Yahweh Christ, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness.
Oh, right there. It brought you back to Yahweh, right? So we ain't teaching like Yahweh. We ain't going according to the path of Yahweh. We going up. You teaching otherwise than Yahweh. We supposed to be Yahweh clones. We supposed to be Yahweh disciples. So however Yahweh taught, whatever Yahweh taught, that's what we supposed to be doing, right? So, you want this? So, however he teach, that's how we supposed to teach. Whatever he teach, that's what we supposed to teach. So if you see somebody teaching otherwise than what Yahweh is teaching, then you know there's a problem. That's why you can look at brothers and be like, that don't sound right. That's not Christ-like. You know what I'm saying? That's how we supposed to be. You say, read on out.
Verse 4. He is proud.
He is what?
He is proud.
Uh-huh.
Knowing nothing.
Uh-huh.
But doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings.
Oh, right there. So, scriptures say, to the doctrine which is according to godliness, right? The doctrine which is according to godliness is us teaching us our people being in order with the Most High God. So we want to teach something. We need to teach fundamental things. We need to teach history. We need to teach the high holy days, how to do them, things of that nature, right? Things for edification. But if we going on here debating with somebody that's not even of the faith, what is that going to do for us? What is me debating somebody that's not a believer going to do? Well, what I'm doing? Trying to make him look bad. He trying to make me look bad. We dotting about questions with one another. We striving with one another. But for what? Is that for the edification of the people? Because if you believe in this, you're not going to believe in Islam. So if I'm debating a Muslim, what is that going to do for the people? That's not going to teach them to keep the law, statutes, commandments. That's just going to make me make a Muslim look bad. Oh, let me set this up 7 o'clock. We got a debate. The Israelite versus the Muslim. It's entertaining, but is it really edifying? It's not. People come on there want to debate you, want to go in your comment section, all this different stuff. You finna spend all this time arguing back and forth with them on social media for what? By the time you finish, you exhausted and ain't accomplished nothing. And that's all this stuff do, man. So when you a novice and you going off what we really supposed to be doing, which is teaching godliness, then what the scriptures say? He is proud. Oh, I'm finna go over here do this debate. I'm finna tear this Muslim up. Why? Because it's about you. You proud. And what it say? Know of nothing. Because when you really in a position of leadership that you're supposed to be in, you got more pressing things to worry about than debating with a Muslim. Than debating with anybody. I'm not debating with nobody because it's not a debate. It's not. What is there to debate? You gonna keep the Sabbath, brother? You gonna keep the law, statutes, commandments? That's all I need to know. Then therefore we can start talking about that. If a person is humble, then you just teach them and they taking it in. Somebody be a scoffer, they a scoffer. That's not a debate, you're a scoffer. But when you set up a debate for a certain time to do that, that's not for the edification of the people, that's for yourself. I'm finna show how much I know or how much the other person doesn't know. And he said, you are proud and know of nothing, dotting about questions and strife of words. Is that not what a debate is? Right. Dotting about questions and strife of words. Whereof cometh envy, because by the time y'all through with each other, it ain't nothing but envy.
Right.
And strife. Now I really don't mess with you, because if whoever got made to look a fool, it's really not finna deal with you. Railing and evil surmising. Because a lot of times if you do debate them and you beat them down, they're going to keep coming in your comment section. They're going to keep coming to where you at. Read on up.
Verse 5. Perverse disputing of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness.
Say that, read that part again.
Supposing that gain is godliness.
Yeah, I got 1,000 more views on this debate that I did. That gotta be of the Lord. Supposing that gain is godliness, it ain't about that, man. It ain't about gain for godliness. Because if that's the case, then the pastors will be right. Oh, you sow this seed, the Lord gonna bless you, and you gonna get an increase. I just got a brand new car, y'all. The Lord bless me. Then that'll make them be true. But that ain't what the scriptures say. Gain ain't godliness. Because you neither brought anything into the world and neither can you take anything out. So how is that godliness? No, godliness is obedience, is edification, is these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's where the godliness stands. Read on.
From such withdraw thyself.
Read that again.
From such withdraw thyself.
So if somebody want to be doing all that, man, say withdraw yourself from them. If all they want to do is strife and bicker and beef about the scriptures, about anything, withdraw yourself. Because like I said, it's about peace. Like if you really brothers, you can respectfully agree to disagree on certain aspects. And if you really brothers, you're not going to do away with that person because you disagree. How many of us got brothers? Do you agree with everything that your brothers say or do?
Nope.
But can you do away with them?
Nope.
So how can we spiritually do away with somebody that we disagree with? But it happens in Israel, and it happens from the top. Oh, must have seen you don't agree with me, man. I ain't dealing with you no more. You gotta go, brother. I can't deal with you no more. You don't agree with me on what you eat white bread, I eat wheat. Brother, I can't mess with you no more. That's what I compare the moon stuff to. White bread and wheat bread. Not you eating some kind of unclean bread. No, you just eat a different bread. It ain't unclean, it's just different. It ain't, you like perch, I like salmon. And you just like a different fish. But if you say you like, I want catfish, then that's a whole nother story. The brother want catfish or some pork, then that's different. But you just like perch more than you like salmon, then, brother, at least you like clean food. That's what I compare it to, man. And that's why our people need to grow up. Grow up. Quit dotting about questions and striving about things that is above your pay grade in the first place. Everybody want to say, well, when Christ get back, he going to give us the full understanding. That's what the scriptures say. Then why don't we act like it? If we know that when Christ come back, he's going to give us the full understanding, then why don't we act like it? But the brother just see it a little different from me. He just see it a little bit different. That's it.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
Read that again.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
Godliness with contentment. I'm good with what the Lord gave me. Not, oh, the Lord got to bless me for I know he real. He got to give me a new house for I know he real. He got to give me this job for I know he real. No, whatever the Lord then gave me, I'm content. And I can live with it because he ain't never going to leave you nor forsake you. If you one of his, he ain't never left you nor forsake you. That's why we worship him.
Verse 7. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment.
Having what?
Food and raiment. Let us be therewith content.
Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 9. Get ready to wrap this thing up. 1 Corinthians 13 and 9. Read it when you got it.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 9. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part.
We know in part and we prophesy in part.
That's right.
And this is going into, if anybody think that they know everything, every mystery of the Bible, that's not true. We know in part and we prophesy in part. Because remember, Ezra wrote with the 5 wise men 240 books. And the Lord told him to hold back 70 of them. I got 2-3 Ezra books, 1 in the Bible, 2 in the Apocrypha. Where the other 167 at? You know what I'm saying? So we don't know everything. Where the other 167 plus the 70 that he held back? So out those 240, we got 237 that we ain't seen. But we know everything. We the 9 books that the Bible speaks about, but we know everything. That's what I'm saying. We got novice and children out here trying to think they know all about the Most High. Novice and children. We don't know everything. We know in part, we prophesy in part. Read on.
Verse 10. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away.
When Christ returns, all the part stuff is going to be done away. He's going to give us the whole picture. He's going to give us the whole story. So we won't sit up here, no, none of us going to sit up here, oh, we the home of the truth. You a dang gonna lie. Yahweh shot the home of the truth, and when he come back, he going to give us the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. But can everybody handle the truth? Because why? Here's a lot. The truth hurts.
Oh yeah, the truth hurts.
I was trying to plug them in there. I was trying to plug them in. Trying to plug them in. Read on out.
When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man.
When I became a what?
When I became a man.
And how do we become a man?
Show thyself a man.
How? Keeping them commandments. When we became men, because I don't care how old you are, if you don't know to keep if you don't know who you are and to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, you are not a man. You are a child. That's why he called us the children of Israel. That's why we can go out here with 60-some-year-old men who trying to act like they 20, 30 something because they ain't none of the children.
That's right. That's right.
That's why we can see, I go out here and see older women who trying to wear these spandex looking like a bad car wreck. Trying to act like the young girls. Because they are children. Ain't no older woman supposed to be out here in no rainbow spandex. I just seen that today. 50-some years old in a rainbow spandex looking like a bad car wreck. The young girls ain't even supposed to be wearing it, let alone no older women, no elderly women.
Teach.
But they still children. But when you grow up to these things, you clearly understand this is not the way that it's supposed to be. So he said, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I was talking stuff. I was acting like a child. I was getting rambunctious and reveling back at people. I don't care. I don't give a F. And you understood as a child. But when I became a man, when sisters became women, we put away those childish things. So the childish thinking, that's why I said, whoever taught you when you first came into the truth, you got to reevaluate those things because you was a child. Now we've been in this truth multiple years. You growing up. Did they teach you childish things? Did you put them away? And are you thinking as an adult in this truth? Like some of the things that come out of our mouth, the way that we judge people, or the way that we treat people, or the way we don't want to forgive. Those are childish things. You cannot be a leader, sit up here, don't want to forgive nobody. You can't be no leader up here wanting to hold people to the letter of the law. Because we are in captivity. A lot of our people are children. Is you finna put your child away because they don't know better? Did you teach them better? Because I'm pretty sure if you taught them better, they'll do better. But if you was a child and you taught them as a child, that's why a lot of people who, before they come in, when they come into this truth and their children older, the damage is already done because you didn't know no better. So those older children don't pick up this truth as easy as the younger children do, because you was a child raising a child. So you gonna put them away because you didn't even know. You didn't even know. And you taught them the same thing that was taught to you. But now since you in the truth, now your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your daughters, your sons, I'm through with them. You was just like them.
Yep.
So you have no compassion for them. And I'm saying some of these leaders tell you to leave your family alone. Would Christ say that?
No.
Christ sat with the sinners and the publicans. He didn't sit because he was hanging out with them. He sat because he was letting his light shine. So that's what you got to do. It don't say go do Christmas with them, do Thanksgiving with them. When you don't do those things, you let your light shine. But then when you come show up unexpectedly and let that light shine, they know you serious. I ain't come over here for Christmas. I went over my parents' house a week after Christmas. Like it was on an off day. And you know what happened? I sat and I talked to them about the Bible. I didn't even bring it up. They asked me. I didn't come to crucify them or criticize them. Because I just came and let my light shine. Came to visit and let my light shine. They start asking questions. I start pulling scriptures. That's how you do it. You don't denounce your family, because I promise you, the people that's telling you to do that, they will denounce you. Then you ain't got nobody. You done denounced your family, turned against them. Then these people that's doing that gonna turn against you the moment you have a disagreement. Then who you got?
Come on now.
Teach, Steve.
You ain't got nobody, because you listen to some children.
Teach up.
What will Yahweh do? Is what you need to ask yourself. Even though Christ, it was people that came to Christ that wasn't Israelites, and he may not have said nothing to them at first. He may not did nothing for them at first. But he ended up doing something. Out of what? Out of mercy. Something that other people won't give us. Something that the other nations won't give us, they won't give us mercy. Something that our own people won't give us, they won't give us mercy. So where are we going to get mercy from? If I need mercy, who going to give it to me? I'm talking about in this realm. But if we don't do it, who going to do it for the Black, Hispanic, and Native American man and woman?
Nobody.
Exactly. Look at the Ukraine. Oh, mercy. Mercy for the Ukrainians. We got to help them. They ready to start World War III for Ukraine. The powers that be know that's a bad idea. They know. That's why they keep, we're not going in Ukraine. The people like, what's wrong with you? They killing those people. We got to go there. They, no. No. We're sending weapons. We're sending money, but we're not sending no troops. We need to put a no-fly zone. Nope. Because they know. They know what's going to happen. It's already happening. Even though they try not to do it, it's going to happen. It's prophecy. But they try, you clearly see. This is the only situation where these people, the United States, they refusing to put their foot on the ground. Anywhere else on the planet, Oh, America's, we're here, Captain America. Not in Ukraine. Over Biden dead body.
Oh, bring that out. Bring that out.
We gotta help the Ukrainians. They need help. Mercy is 2 million refugees. We just gotta help them. Nope.
100,000 here.
But who gave mercy to the Israelites? Who gave mercy to the Native Americans? Who gave mercy to the blacks?
None.
No.
Who gave us mercy?
None.
When they slaughtered and committed genocide against us.
None.
So that's why I look at our people. Like, I'll tell you, Edomites is psychopaths.
Yeah.
But I think we've been around them too long. Because we have, what the Lord say, there's no mercy, no knowledge in the land. So it's up to us, as disciples of Yahweh, to give mercy to each other. And that's basically what this thing going into. You're going to be a teacher. You're going to be a leader in Israel. Then we got to have the qualities of Yahweh, man.
That's right.
Period. That's what I know. That's what the scriptures say, and that's how I feel in my heart, because that's how I want somebody to be with me. If I'm going off, don't crucify me. Talk to me first. Don't make a video about me. Don't leave me. Don't kick me out. Try to help me. Nah,
It's too right.
brother. Nah, brother, you don't agree with us, you got to go. See, we'll say, brother, it's cool, you don't agree with us. We can still hang out. That's us. It'll be the other party say, because what you say, that's too much like right.
Too right.
The other party gets scared. What? You still want to hang out with us? Because we don't agree? Yeah, brother, it's okay. Nah, that ain't the devil's way. That's why when I put that post, and I put a comment, I was starting not to comment about why camps don't do the high holy days together. But I did put in there, that's of the devil. If it's putting a division between us, that's of the devil. Because the Lord said, gather yourself together, old nation not desired. But I'm going to say no. Because he don't do how I do. That's of the devil, man. And that's what brothers need to start realizing. If you're going on here trying to make somebody look bad, if that's your whole purpose, you off. If you're going on here to try to cause division, try to make this brother look bad so these people won't deal with him, you're going off. If you're doing anything other than godly edification, you are going off. Oh man, that brother read that book, I can't deal with him. But he just read a dang on book. And you can point out 13 different examples of somebody using the book, but no, you use that book, brother. I can't deal with you. And it's time to grow up, Israel. I got a couple more scriptures and we out of here. Did we finish that out? Yeah.
I do believe so.
Yeah. Give me Sirach chapter 34 and verse 9. 2 more scriptures we out. Sirach chapter 34 and verse 9.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 34 and verse 9.
Oh yeah, hold up. I got an interesting thing that I found out about Sirach. We call it Sirach because of the brother, but in the Hebrew, Ecclesiastes comes out to be parables. Parables, that's what it's called, parables in the Hebrew. The Ecclesiastes, that's Greek, but in Hebrew, it's called parables. Just wanted to give you all that bit of information. Read that out.
A man that hath traveled, a man that hath traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom.
Read on.
He that hath no experience knoweth little.
Read that again.
He that hath no experience knoweth little.
Read.
But he that hath traveled is full of prudence.
Because I'm finna tell you something, I ain't went out of Dallas. You think a brother that done traveled all over the world or all over the United States don't know more than somebody that just been in Dallas? You trying to tell me worldly about the world and you ain't never left out the city. I done literally seen people argue with somebody about the city that this person is from and they ain't even been there. Yeah. No, brother, I'm gonna tell you about. I've been. This is over here. No, it's over here, brother. I'm from here. How you gonna tell me about where I'm from? I'm finna go to Tulsa, and I'm finna tell Nate about Tulsa. I only been one time. Because I've been on Black Wall Street, I know more than Nate. Know what I'm saying? If you ain't never did nothing, how can you tell somebody about something? I'm finna tell you about how being militant, and I ain't never been in the military. See, brother, you can't be an officer if you don't know the precepts. Brother, have you been in the military? Do you understand that it's not just about the people who fly the planes? That it's also about the people who fix the planes?
Wash them.
Wash them? Feed you so you can fly? Make sure your equipment is safe? Make sure the jets is fueled up? It ain't officers over munitions? The bombs that they drop, somebody got to be over that. That's a dangerous job in itself. But I ain't never been there. I'm going to tell you about it, but I ain't never been there. The scriptures say what they say. He that has no experience knoweth little. Yeah, I can read the precepts, but I ain't never been married. I ain't never raised children to be adults. And then how did those children turn out? How your grandchildren turn out? I can't, if you never did that, like I can't tell nobody about grandchildren. I don't have grandchildren. I have children. But can I tell people they got grandchildren about grandchildren? I can't. And you clearly see it's a difference between raising your children and raising your grandchildren. Mm-hmm. But I don't know yet because I'm not there. So I can't speak on that. You know what I'm saying? So it's about getting that experience. Give me one more. Sirach 25:6. Straight up that. Sirach 25:6.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 6. Much experience is the crown of old men, and the fear of God is their glory.
So much experience is the crown of an elderly man or a woman. Because and then you add these precepts, these laws, statutes, commandments, this Bible to it. You just imagine how souped up you had got when you found out the truth. You instantly went from zero. Matter of fact, because you was in the negative. Yeah. You in the negative because you don't even know who you are. That's a negative. Then you instantly get a boost. Truth. Then when you start keeping the commandments and doing them and learning them, then shoo, and then you keep getting elevated. So in that time, and you get older with your experiences with people, your discernment of people get better, you can pretty much, that's how you think you become a prophet. You be a prophet by prophesying what the Most High God say. And then you also can start prophesying people because things are predictable. If you done been through this situation 30 times, you pretty much can tell somebody what's going to happen. Yeah. Oh, that brother's a prophet. No, brother, I just know I can discern these people because I got experience. And plus I got the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Most High God. So we got to always remember that. Just because somebody teaching don't mean that they ready for what they doing or even right for what they doing. Do they got the experience to be talking about what they talking about? Are they blameless in the things that they talking about? Are they ruling their own situation in the way that they should be ruling before they trying to tell you about it? So with that, we're going to end on this law right here. Give me Matthew chapter 7.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 1. Judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure you mete, it shall measured to you again.
Read on.
And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye?
Read.
Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye?
Read.
Thou hypocrite.
Thou what?
Thou hypocrite.
Uh-huh.
First cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye.
So that just sums the class up in a nutshell. If we're going to be doing this thing as leaders, as shepherds, as mothers, as fathers, we need to have our stuff together first before we come out here trying to condemn. We don't need to be condemning nobody, first of all. But before we come out here trying to, but that's mainly what you do, and that's why Christ brought this up. Because what's the purpose of people judging? They want to condemn you. But if you love somebody, are you going to condemn your mother when you're trying to get her to come to the law and such commandments? Not if you smart. But you're going to talk to her, you're going to reason with her, you're going to plead with her, you're going to try to show her, but you're not going to condemn. But a lot of times in these positions, people try to condemn and they got the beam in their own eye. So we always got to remember that. So I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God in the name of His Holy Son, Mashiach Yahweh. And with that, we say Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.